watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Gloria, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's World News headlines, 100 killed in Iraq after sentencing of fugitive vice president. And U.S. continues detaining Afghan prisoners despite background handover. And Syrian forces killed in Aleppo bombings. And Clinton says new UN measure on Syria needs teeth. And Obama and Romney campaign after jobs report. And Chicago teachers stage first strike in 25 years. And U.S. refuses to extradite Del Lozada, backs immunity for ex-Mexican president. And clashes erupt in Chile ahead of 1973 coup anniversary. And Bahraini forces break up opposition protests. And U.S. deportations continue at record pace despite lower migration. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural County's television network whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, more than 100 people were killed in Iraq on Sunday in one of the country's deadliest days this year. A series of bombings hit Baghdad shortly after fugitive Iraqi Vice President Tariq al-Hashimi was sentenced to death for allegedly planning and funding attacks. A leading Sunni Muslim politician, Hashimi, fled Baghdad in December when Iraq's Shia-led government accused him of running death squads. Hashimi has denied the charges, saying they were politically motivated. The controversy between Hashimi has sparked fears of worsening the sectarian turmoil between Shiites and Sunnis. In Sunday's worst attacks, more than 50 people were killed when a bomb struck a crowded commercial area. The United States has formally handed control of the Bagram Air Base in the Afghan government to the Afghan government, key milestone in more than a decade-long NATO occupation. But despite handover, the United States has continued to retain control over several dozen prisoners in a dispute with the Afghan government. The New York Times reports the spat apparently centers on Afghan refusal to adopt a no-trial detention system demanded by the U.S. government. And scores of Syrian government forces have been killed in a double bombing in the besieged town of Aleppo. Residents and activists say the bomb targeted makeshift barracks housing soldiers stationed in Aleppo to root out opposition fighters. Syrian state media says at least 17 soldiers were killed and 40 were wounded. And speaking at an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Russia, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said the United States continues to support continue support for Syrian opposition. And she said, we haven't seen eye to eye with Russia on Syria. That may continue, and if it does continue, then we will work with like-minded states to support the Syrian opposition to hasten the day when Assad falls and help prepare Syria for a democratic future and, help it get back on its feet again. There's no point passing a resolution with no teeth because we've seen time and time again Assad will ignore it and keep attacking his own people. President Obama hit the campaign trail over the weekend after a new round of job numbers underscored his challenge to overcome a struggling economy in order to win the re-election. The Labor Department reported Friday the economy added 96,000 jobs last month, a lower number than had been predicted. The official unemployment rate saw a slight dip, 8.1%, but only because less people reported they were actively looking for work. Speaking in New Hampshire, Obama urged supporters to back his call to tax cuts only for those making below $250,000. He said, today we learned that after losing around 800,000 jobs a month when I took office, business once again added jobs for the 30th time in a row, total of more than 4.6 million jobs, and that's not good enough. We know it's not good enough. We need to create more jobs faster. We need to come out of this crisis stronger than when we went in. And there's a lot more that we can do. When Congress gets back to town next week, you need to send them a message. Go ahead and give middle-class families and small businesses confidence of knowing what your taxes will not go up next year. Campaigning in Virginia on Saturday, Republican nominee Mitt Romney seized its latest job figures to paint Obama as weak on economy, and he said this president has not fulfilled his promises. And then he went to the Democrat convention and spoke in great length and had a lot of wonderful things to say. He didn't say that he'd do a lot to help people get jobs and come out of unemployment to get back to the poor people in the middle class. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have any ideas, and we've got to make sure he doesn't have any more days in the White House after January. Some 25,000 Chicago public school teachers have gone on strike for the first time in 25 years. Teachers were walking off job after union leaders failed to reach agreement with the nation's third largest school district over education reform sought by Mayor Rahm Emanuel. The Obama administration is drawing controversy for siding with two former Latin American leaders in unrelated cases involving the massacres of civilians. The White House has informed Bolivia that it will not extradite former President Gonzalo Sanchez de Lozada to face charges over the mass killings in Bolivia's protesters in 2003. At least 64 civilians were slain and more than 400 were wounded when the Bolivian military cracked down on protests that sparked an uprising against de Lozada's government. De Lozada has been indicted in Bolivia but has not been tried because he has been living safely in exile in the United States ever since. On Friday, Bolivian President Evo Morales said that the Obama administration had rejected Bolivia's extradition request on the grounds of civilian leader cannot be tried for a military crime. Morales blasted the decision, calling the United States a paradise of impunity. He also said the U.S. can't send a letter saying civil society can't be responsible for military actions. I reject these claims. I do not agree. This is a pretext for the U.S. to turn into a haven for delinquents, a paradise of impunity. It is easy for us to see that a country that has never respected the dignity and the sovereignty of Latin America can extradite someone who's done so much harm to the Bolivian people and works for the American empire. In a separate move, the U.S. government has filed a court briefing declaring former Mexican President Ernesto Zedillo enjoys immunity from the Connecticut civil suit about alleged war crimes. The suit accuses Zedillo of responsibility of a 1997 massacre in a Chiapas village of Actil, which a government-backed paramilitary group killed 45 people as part of an attempt to quash Zapatistas' popular uprising. Zedillo lives in Connecticut and teaches in Yale University. Lawyers for the plaintiffs say they will be forced to drop the case as a result of Zedillo's immunity. And clashes were erupted on the Chilean capital of Santiago ahead of Tuesday's 39th anniversary of the U.S.-backed overthrow of President Salvador Allende. On September 11, 1973, Allende died in a presidential palace in a coup that brought Augusto Pinochet to power on Sunday. Chilean police fired tear gas while protesters commemorating Pinochet's victims set up barricades and threw Molotov cocktails. Protests are continuing against the U.S.-backed regime in Bahrain in the face of the ongoing crackdown on government opponents. opponents. On Friday, Bahraini forces fired tear gas and stun grenades and demonstrators who defied the ban on unauthorized protests. The rally was held and called for freedom score the Bahraini political prisoners after military court upheld the conviction of 20 activists last week. Demonstrators managed to join together despite government attempts to block them from meeting in the capital of Manama. Bahrain is a key U.S. government ally hosting the Navy's 5th Fleet. And new figures show the United States is on pace to approach the record number of deportations and undocumented immigrants seen last year. The Department of Homeland Security says it has deported 366,000 people with just 1 month left in the fiscal 2012. Nearly 392,000 immigrants were deported in fiscal 2011, despite illegal border crossings of migrants dropping to a 40-year low. And that's it for World News today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the Rock and Roll Connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. John is an American. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter, and pictures in the blotter are not from these actual events but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County Law Enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Friday, 7:04 a.m. a report was taken from 100 block of Spring Hill Drive of theft of an iPod from a vehicle overnight. At 9:21 a.m. a report was taken from 300 block of Bennett Street of theft of a CD player from a locked vehicle. At 10:05 a.m. a report was taken from 900 block of Plaza Drive of someone had cut the lock off a back gate. At 11:05 a.m. a report was taken from 200 block of Sierra College Drive of a counterfeit bill. 11:16 a.m. multiple callers at East Main and Bennett Street of an offensive sign. It was not illegal. And 1:19 p.m. a report was taken from Colfax Avenue and South Auburn Street of the theft of a wallet and cell phone from an unlocked vehicle. At 2:07 p.m. a report was taken from 100 block of South School Street of a $30 theft and medication from an unlocked vehicle. Notice the word unlocked. I always keep all my drugs and money in a car, don't you? Unlocked. 2:45 p.m. a report was taken 900 block West Main Street of a transient hopping a fence and was in a pool. He was advised not to return. At 2:53 p.m. a report was taken from 200 block of North Church Street of possible fraud. At 6:44 p.m. a report was taken from Memorial Park in physical fight with a man reporting being assaulted by another man. No charges were desired. Two were restricted from the park for 72 hours. 11:32 p.m. a report was taken from 300 block of Pleasant Street of a man coming inside a residence and spit. He was cited on suspicion of battery. And Saturday, 2:13 a.m., a report was taken from 100 block of East Empire Street of loud noise. The second complaint was made at 3:07 a.m. and people agreed to move inside. 3:30 a.m., a third call was made and the suspects were advised that they would be cited if another complaint was called in. 2:52 a.m., a report was taken 200 block of South Church Street of loud people. 3:02 a.m., a report of a person was yelling for help and other neighbors were yelling for a person to quiet down. No disturbances was located. And 3:45 a.m. a report was taken from 100 block of South Church Street. A completely drunken woman was being disruptive. She was given a ride to her residence. And 4:22 a.m. a report was taken from Sutton Way of a woman in pink pajamas was sitting in the middle of the road. She was given a ride. 11:59 a.m. a report was taken from 400 block of West Main Street of theft of a Wii game system. 12:12 p.m. a report was taken from 700 block of Freeman Lane of a theft of a wallet. And 12:25 p.m. a woman in 2500 block of Ridge Road called in for possible theft from a storage unit. And 3:12 p.m. a report was taken from 400 block of Henderson Street of a lot of screaming. A situation involving out-of-control juvenile was mediated. At 7:13 p.m., a report was taken on Morgan Ranch Drive and a woman who had been driving erratically for 30 minutes. At 7:30 p.m., a caller reported she had hit a parked car. She was arrested on suspicion of driving under influence, hit and run, and child endangerment. At 7:27 p.m., a report was taken from 100 block of Glasson Way of a woman sought treatment for an assault. At 9:27 p.m., a woman from Bennett Street and Kidder Avenue called in that 3 juveniles were putting fake cats in the road and threw an apple in their vehicle. One was cited for suspicion of throwing a substance at a vehicle. 11:21 p.m., a report was taken from 100 block of Berry Hill Drive of a theft of a silver and diamond ring. And that's it today for the blotter. Another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it is us, GVTV News. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. In today's local news headlines, Dan Logue to run for Senate, and PG&E to increase Belden Reach water flow to North Fork. In a story written by Jeff Pauline, Dan Logue to run for vacant 4th District Senate seat. North State Assemblyman and Chief Minority Whip Dan Logue today the other day, announced that he is a candidate to replace former 4th District Senator Doug LaMalfa. Late Friday, State Senator Doug LaMalfa announced his resignation from the Senate in anticipation of his congressional race. It is in anticipation a special election to fill the seat will be consolidated with the November general election. A small business owner and staunch opponent of government waste and overregulation, Dan Logue has served 2 terms in Assembly where he has taken the lead of restoring California's beleaguered economy. About Logue, well, Congressman Tom McClintock stated, Dan Logue is one of the great forces in the Assembly. Californians could not possibly have more fearless or energetic defender against overreaching bureaucracy than Dan Logue. Logue has clearly established himself as a California leading voice to revitalize the economy and keep jobs and businesses in California. National Federation of Independent Businesses has awarded Logue a perfect score based on his voting record and support for small business. His widespread efforts have also drawn the attention of media outlets across the nation, including the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, CNBC, and Los Angeles Times. For nearly 4 years, it has been my distinct honor to serve the voters of North State in legislature, stated Logue. Since Senator LaMalfa announced he is resigning, I have been inundated with calls from friends and supporters from throughout the North State encouraging me to run for the state Senate. After much prayer and discussion with my wife and family, I am confident that their counsel and support that in the state Senate we can continue to be effective in advocating for the North State and for fixing California's broken economy. I know that California's economy and California families are struggling and businesses are leaving and taking jobs with them. As the chairman of the caucus task force on jobs and economic recovery, Logue has defined the greatest challenge confronting California. The challenge of our time is to build bipartisan consensus that leads to real reforms. Reforms which reduce regulatory and tax burdens, encourage business and job growth, and restores our economy. I have a record of doing just that. As a small business owner for 30 years, I understand the challenges that working families are facing in California, and I think about them every day, stated Logue. I am committing to doing things I can fight to restore opportunity, help, and economic prosperity to California. Unquote. That's the end of that story. In a story by Paul Marino of PG&E, out of Quincy, California, September 10th, I think this was, Pacific Gas and Electric Company will increase water flows in the Belden Reach of the North Fork of the Feather River in Plumas County starting Tuesday, September 11th. The company announced the higher flows are necessary so PG&E can meet its water delivery obligation into Lake Oroville, as well as provide water for hydraulic generation at PG&E's Butte Valley, Caribou, and Rock Creek and Krista and Poe powerhouses. The higher flows will be maintained until PG&E finishes replacing generator bearings at the Belden powerhouse. Repairs on the powerhouse are interrupted by the CHIPS fire and are expected to last another 1 to 4 weeks. Once the powerhouse is back in service, PG&E will divert from the Belden Dam into the Belden Tunnel to generate power and return flows to the Belden Reach to its seasonal normal of 60 cubic feet per second. Prior to the increased flows in the Belden Reach will be about 430 CFS. Starting about 8 a.m. on September 11th, PG&E will gradually increase flows by half a foot an hour until it reaches 800 CFS later in the day. September 12th, flows will be increased to 100 CFS an hour until flows reach between 1600 and 1700 CFS. Belden Reach can easily accommodate the increased flows around 2,000 CFS during the wet years. Belden Reach is an 8-mile portion of North Fork on the Feather River in the Plumas National Forest between PG&E's Belden Dam and the confluence of the North Fork of the Feather River and the east branch of the Feather River near Highway 70. The Caribou Corners, Gesner Bar, North Fork, and Queen Lily campgrounds are near the Belden Reach will not be affected by the higher flows. Campgrounds are impacted by the CHIPS fire and only the Gesner Bar campground is open. Caribou Road, which parallels much of Belden Reach, is closed beyond the Gesner Bar campground. Pacific Gas and Electric Company, a subsidiary of the PG&E Corporation, is one of the largest combined natural gas and electric utilities in the United States. Based in San Francisco with over 20,000 employees, the company delivers some of the nation's cleanest energy to 15 million people in northern and central California. Want more information about this? www.pgne.com/about/newsroom and pgnecurrents.com. That's it for local news today. We would like to thank Amy Goodman, Reuters, Associated Press, Ubinet, Sierra Foothills Report, the Union, local law enforcement, and others for the sourcing of our news, and you for watching. Remember, we are the only visual video news media in Nevada County, and we are free for you to watch 7 days a week. If you have local stories and would like to have them aired on our news, please email us with a limit the story to 750 words, and if you have pictures, please include them in the email to grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Please include some type of contact information for verification of facts. You can watch this broadcast on Comcast Cable, NCTV, Channel 11 in Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m., Saturday, and 8 p.m. Sunday, and Suddenlink Channel 16 in Truckee and Alta-Sierra, same times. We also are streamed on the internet, NCTV's Digital Media Center website at nevadacountytv.org and our website, gvtv.org. And don't forget Grass Valley Television that plays 24/7 on the net, grassvalleytelevision.com. We post to Facebook, YouTube, blip.tv, and many other sites, and have RSS feed and video podcast on iTunes. Just search under video podcast for GVTV News. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video, you can contact us for more info at grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com or 530-362-8889. This show produced by Grass Valley Television of Rural Counties Television Network. We hope you will stay tuned to us for this next season as we're going to spice up the news in the future. You can always email us ideas and comments, and if you like us on Facebook, we like that. News Player can be embedded on your site, or you can go to our sites, which we had already mentioned. Due to the lack of underwriters this year, we will be doing 3 shows a week, playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday editions. We should be expanding when we get more community support. Grass Valley Television works hard to bring you news and entertainment from around the world and local content you do not get on mainstream media. We want to expand and improve what you see, and we need your help. If you support this program and want exposure for your business,
tonight. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for the Arts. We're really pleased that Land Trust asked us to produce this event this year. We are a nonprofit performing arts center located in downtown Grass Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleased to present Ivan Neville's Dumpster Funk.
How y'all doing? We're dancing over in New Orleans, Louisiana. You can dance if you want to, like the lady said. Yeah, feel like that. If you don't know, now you know.